What is up, everybody? How's everybody doing today?
I'm good. How are
Pretty
you?
good.
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 So, had an exciting week this week. A lot of stuff going on. In fact, there's more stuff going on after we get off this podcast or live stream or whatever you want to call it. But hey,
Pod live stream cast.
live stream cast is that
Pod live stream cast.
pod live stream cast Twitch.
We're not on Twitch.
Should we get on Twitch? That is the question. Should we be on Twitch?
30-minute episodes once a week.
No, let's not. Let's not do that. So, in other words, welcome to another edition of Media Club, where we talk all things introduce as well as things outside of introduce. And I'm going to actually throw some stuff at you at the end. See if you guys can follow up with that. All right. Bet you didn't know that.
He's
So
getting sneaky, Nick.
I am getting sneaky. Actually, it was me not remembering to bring it up during our pre whatever you want to call it. But anyway, let's get this ball of wax ball rolling. Yes, let's do that.
Get it rolling.
Get it rolling. Do it.
What are we working on? I did that.
Cool.
I think
So
that was
let's
the wrong
talk
one.
about what we're working on. I know James, you wanted to start off talking about something that happened yesterday, or
Yeah.
and so what are we talking about that happened yesterday?
So yesterday was Older Michiganians Day. It was Paul told me it was the biggest live stream we've ever done because we had like 140 people on Facebook and like 145 people on Zoom, and we don't know how many of them are the same people, but um, yeah, we had like now I have to do quick math, like 295 people ish total watching something we were doing, and it was a pretty cool event. Older Michiganians Day is put on by the area agencies on Aging Association of Michigan. We call them 4A. They call themselves 4A because that's a lot of A's, man. But Jen was our connect over there, and she got us the run of show. She got us everything super far in advance, and everything was planned out perfectly. And then day of, there was a couple snafus. The tent wasn't up in time. We were running down to the last minute. And then once we got started, it was all fine. But we were all slightly freaking out. Jen included. But we got it all going. Once we got the ball rolling, it was good. The event went really well. We had legislators show up that weren't even scheduled to be there, and they got to speak as well. Um, but so what the day is, Older Michiganians Day, is the Area Agencies on Aging Association of Michigan, 4A, invites legislators and seniors and anyone who's aging, so literally anyone, to the Capitol to speak to their legislators and then to call to action both the legislators and the crowd on certain things. So this year they were talking about things like getting a 50% uh, increase in pay for healthcare workers, direct healthcare workers, and things like that. And it was just a good time, good event. It was also our first live stream on the Capitol lawn, which, again, very hectic. It was very warm out yesterday, but it went really well. Yeah.
And I wanted to clarify, it wasn't our biggest live stream ever. It was our biggest live stream virtual attendance wise
Virtual attendance.
this year. This year.
Gotcha, this year.
Because the Red Nose Ruckus from 2020 was our biggest live stream.
That's true.
So yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I was there to help. Hopefully, I wasn't there completely to help, other than get a ticket. I was there long enough to get a parking ticket. Big surprise there.
I got a parking ticket for the car that was behind me.
That's that would happen to me. It's almost like a reverse pay it forward. It's like, yeah, it's crazy. Anyway,
I do have a question, James.
Yeah, what's up?
Does Michiganians have the apostrophe
Don't
Is
know.
there
I didn't have
apostrophe or
access to
not?
that logo this year, so I didn't.
Okay.
I feel like it should have an apostrophe
Yeah.
because it's possessive. Do
Hmm.
you feel it should have an apostrophe?
Not necessarily,
But it's
because
their
it's
day.
multiple. It's no older Michiganians Day.
Yeah, it's their day.
Not, but it's not one Michiganian.
It's older Michiganians. There should still be an apostrophe, even if is it
Oh, we
before
have a
the S or
comment.
after the S? Oh, we got a
What does
comment.
what does Kayleen think?
Grammar.
Oh, grammar guy.
Grammar.
That's our other podcast that we haven't launched yet.
Yeah, Grammar Guys with Nick, James, and Paul instead
Yeah.
of Media Club with Paul, James, and Nick.
So, with Kayleen saying grammar guys, does that mean that we got it wrong or we got it right?
I have no idea, man.
That's leaving it up. Anyway, we're gonna move on to Nick's. What were you working on this week, Nick?
Yeah, so yesterday we shot a video for Rathbun Insurance. I think they're a new client. I don't think we've done videos for them before, but yeah, so we did, yeah, kind of maybe. But yeah, so we met with some of their community partners. So the Allen Neighborhood Center and Christa Ray Community Center. And we've done videos for Chris, or a lot of videos for Christa Ray in the past. I don't know if we've done a video for Allen yet, but we've done videos like adjacent. I feel
Yeah, we
like.
filmed there.
We did
Yeah.
a video for Allen Neighborhood Center for a different client.
Yeah.
It was Allen Neighborhood Center was their client, similar to what we did with Rathbun in the past. We did a video for Ellie's Place to help raise money, but I mean
Yeah.
the video was completely about Ellie's Place, but Rathbun was the fiduciary, the sponsor, whatever you want to call it. So it was the same thing. So we did do something for Allen, but not for Allen.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
But yes, we just talked with each of their like executive directors a little bit, and just talked a little bit about what their mission is and how Rathbun has helped them. And specific to Allen Market, Rathbun has helped get their kitchen started. So they have like a kitchen where they let like small, like up and coming businesses use their kitchen and like develop their idea and business plan. And I know like the smoothie place started there that James really likes. I don't think she's there anymore.
Smoothie Queen. No, she's got her own place now.
Yeah.
But Mr. Leslie's Cheesecakes also started there.
He's still there, I think.
He's so cool.
Yeah, the cheesecake place, Tante, which is like this really good like Peruvian food. There's like a Korean barbecue place. So yeah, so we filmed there, got some B-roll, and then we filmed at Christa Ray and talked with Joe a little bit, and just talked a little bit about what they do and just how Rathbun has helped them. And I just feel like it's smart for Rathbun to do a video like this, because it's highlighting how they help the community. It's always cool when clients are able to use like their resources to highlight other businesses in the area, and not businesses but like nonprofits and organizations. So yeah, so really excited about that video.
Yeah, I mean, Rathbun has a very similar mission to ours in that regard, in which we try to uplift and show the positive impacts of different organizations within the community. And I thought that was really cool when we had this discussion with them at the end of last year and what they wanted to do. So really, really good, really pleased that whole process has started. But those are two great organizations that are doing some awesome stuff. And of course, stay tuned next week as we talk about a couple more. It actually might be the same ones because we got repeatable stuff going on. Anyway,
I mean, I I don't think we're repeating a live stream.
No, but we may be doing another project with 4A. You never know. You never know.
That's true.
Anyway, but now it's time to talk about outside of Introduced Walls and what are some things that are catching our attention.
I'm getting really good at that timing on that.
All right. Yeah. Wow. Well, the live stream guy is really liking what he's doing. And so, well, let's talk a little bit about some of the things that have caught our attention outside these walls, which I just said, which I just mentioned. And who's up first? Who's going to go first?
Oh, Paul's up first.
I'm up first.
Yeah,
All
you're up
right.
first.
Well, here's something that I stumbled upon. I don't know where, but it's become a daily routine now. And if you are a fan of Wordle, which I know a lot of people do, that's something I do every day as well. But this is the thing I do right after I try to figure my Wordle out is this thing called Framed. And Framed is built the kind of the same way, in which you get 6 guesses, you get a still from a film. It's an abstract still that gets obviously a little bit easier as you go along, maybe, if you really know the movie. This is really for those who are engrossed in movies like myself. I find it a fun game because some of the stills can be very abstract. Um, but but it's really an interesting game that it takes about 10 minutes or so of your time, unless you get really stumped and you're really like, I don't know what the heck this is. And I haven't really gotten super stumped, and which is neat. And there's one that I got in 3, and I'd never even seen the movie before. It was really cool. So it's a lot of fun for me. Like I said, I play this right after Wordle. Wordle's a little bit more complicated than this, but I like this. And it's and they get these stills from I can't remember what the name of the stock site is at the bottom, where they get these frames, and they're frames from films, and so that you have access to somehow, and it's really cool how they do that. But yeah, that's something that I've been enjoying every day, just to boost the brain power. But yeah, have you guys played this?
Yeah, Nick
Yeah.
showed me this a couple months ago, and I added it into my daily game rotation as well. I will say that it feels like the first picture is always the most abstract,
Mm-hmm.
and then by the sixth, look, who wouldn't get what this movie
Yeah.
is from
That's
6?
my. I wish it was like harder in that respect, like because I feel like Wordle like is a harder game compared to this. But I guess I mean obviously like we watch a lot of movies, so we
We
just like
watched too many movies.
yeah. um, but some are harder though, so it's not like they're all easy. But yeah, and then going back to Wordle, you guys still play Wordle like daily?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
actually didn't get today's word, and I'm upset about that because I should have. It was between 2 different words on my 6th guess, and I missed it.
Yeah, on the very sixth guess. Yeah, I like Wordle for the simple fact that it's like very simple, and it's easy to start. It's easy to play. Boost your brain power. Just gets you thinking in the morning. That's like I'll read for a little bit, play that game, and then play this game, and then read a little bit more of all the stuff that I like to read about. So, but yeah, because one of the things I read about this morning, I'm going to bring up later on in this podcast. So, yeah. Anyway, next,
Oh.
who's next?
Who's next?
Who's next?
Nick's next.
All right. Cool. So I'm talking about this book that I read recently called Anthem. It's written by Noah Hawley. He's really somebody that came onto my radar with the Fargo show a few years ago. He's the writer, creator of that show. He also created and wrote the show Legion, which is about Professor X's son who has like really strong abilities, and like that's a really weird show, but also another FX show. But
Quick
yeah, he's
side note: Aubrey Plaza is amazing in that show.
yeah. That's I feel like that's kind of an underrated show. I feel like it's not talked about the same way like a lot of the other Marvel shows are. I know it's not like specifically Marvel, um, but yeah, So he's also a writer. Like he writes books and stuff. So that's kind of where he like came onto my radar. I've been wanting to like read one of his books for a while. So Anthem came out like a month ago, so I wanted to check it out. And yeah, so I'll just read the synopsis here. So something is happening to teenagers across America, spreading through memes only they can parse. At the Floating Anxiety Abatement Center in a suburb of Chicago, Simon Oliver is trying to recover from his sister's tragic passing. He breaks out to join a woman named Louise and a man named the Prophet on a quest as urgent as it is enigmatic. So basically, there's this thing that's happening to specifically like teenagers. They all start content warning for suicide, but they all start quitting suicide, and nobody really knows why. Like all the adults are like, "Oh, this is crazy. Like, how do we help these kids?" And that's kind of where the story starts, and then from there it kind of gets more like fantastical and kind of plays with like The Stand and like Lord of the Rings kind of imagery, like certain characters, like there's a character called the Prophet, the Wizard. There's like somebody called the Troll, but it's all like grounded in reality still. So like it doesn't get like too crazy. It's all like modern day real people, but yeah, just in general, it feels like a book that's a response to January 6th and like that whole thing, and like the Charleston riots and stuff like that. So if that's like of interest to you, I'll definitely check it out. It's really funny. I'm trying to like describe it in a way that makes sense, but
A funny version of a modern day The Stand, but no Randall Flagg. Is that what you're? That's what I'm picking up from what you're saying.
It's actually a character called Randall Flagg. He's one of the best characters.
No,
but it's like, but okay, so it's like a kid who like dresses like Randall Flagg and like is like rides a motorcycle and is like
which version of Randall Flagg?
I mean the version from The Stand when he's like
Alexander Skarsgård, or the mini-series that I love from the 90s where he's always wearing full denim and has a mullet.
Yeah, he's more like a greaser. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that Gary Sinise?
That he played Stu in that miniseries. Sorry, I've watched that miniseries.
Who played Randall Flagg in that?
That's a good question. But I can.
Wasn't it Ed Harris or something? Ed Harris is who I always pictured when I was reading The Stand. Ed
Harris, really?
Yeah.
The Stand, 1994. It was scrolling. Jamie Sheridan.
Jamie Sheridan. Oh, he had a stint on what was that? Law and Order. He played a detective on Law and Order.
Detective Deakins.
Nice.
So anyway, well, that's awesome. Is it long? Is it a long book?
It's pretty long. It's like 430 pages or so.
Is that hardback size or is that paperback size?
Hardback size.
Okay.
So it'd probably
be
like
a big difference there.
It'd probably be like 500 in paperback then, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely worth checking out. Especially if you're into like his writing at all, or yeah.
What other things is he other than the television shows? And I'm a real big fan of Fargo. But what else has he written, like book wise?
He did a book called Before the Fall, which I also want to check out from like 2016. That one's more like a thriller, kind of like a genre thing. He did another one called The Good Father. That sounds good. Um, yeah, and then he did that movie with Natalie Portman that actually wasn't supposed to be that good, but I still kind of want to watch. It was about like an astronaut or something, but
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that
it was like
came out not
pale.
long ago.
It was like Pale Blue Dot or something.
Yeah.
And then he's also working on an Alien show, which I'm really excited about.
Alien show
Obviously,
is in like xenomorphs or
yeah,
like okay,
Like the aliens.
yeah,
like H.R. Geiger design.
yeah.
Oh,
So that'll
Okay.
be on. Pretty sure that's going to be another FX show. So pretty excited about that too. So
oh no, that's great.
yep.
Damn.
Huh. Well, cool. Well, that's awesome. That's good stuff. I mean, it sounds like an interesting story. Um, so cool. Well, I guess we move on to the next thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap us up here with a video game that's in early access on, I believe it's only on Steam right now, called Peglin. And it is a, I don't know if you've noticed, but I did this for 4A too. It is a roguelike, light RPG, pachinko game. So if you've ever played Peggle, it's very similar to Peggle, mixed with what is a very good roguelike that most people have heard of. Slay the Spire. I'll go with Slay the Spire because the map is very much the same. Where you pick and choose where you go, um, but it's just the gameplay is all Peggle. Like you don't know what you're getting into at the next level. You pick up an icon on a map. It could be a mini boss, a shop, a question mark, that could be anything. But you go through each level and there's these like little marching enemies, like this little red blob guy coming across the top of the screen, and you're throwing pachinko balls into like a plinko thing, trying to deal enough damage to them so that they don't get to you and hurt you. And then carrying that through all the way to the boss. There's a surprising amount of strategy in it, because like you can throw away the ball that you have up next, but then you have to like shuffle through your pile and redraw them. So it's kind of deck builder as well, but you're gathering pachinko balls that do different things. My favorite one is the Matryoshka ball, where it turns into a multi-ball, and you can upgrade your balls so they do more damage, and they a specific example of the Matryoshka ball, it starts with multi-ball 1, so you throw it, and as soon as it hits a peg, it splits into 2. You can upgrade that all the way to multi-ball 3, so that the first time it hits a ball, it splits into 2, and then those two split into 2, and then those two also split into 2. And it's just a wild, fun game that just makes my serotonin go, wee! Yeah, I enjoy it.
So does the how much of it feels like, does the randomness feel annoying at times, or is it pretty balanced? Because you can't really control where a ball goes once you. I mean, you can like
You
set
aim
up your
it
shot. Yeah.
initially, yeah. Um, I mean, there's physics to it, but a lot of the balls are weighted differently too. Like there's one that's super dense, but every time it hits a peg, it hits it 3 times, but then it like doesn't get as much air. Versus there's rubber ones that bounce like crazy. So it's all depending on what you have. You always start the run with the same set of balls. You get 4 rocks, which are just standard stones, and a dagger. And the dagger doesn't do much. A dagger orb is what they call it. It doesn't do much unless you crit, because there's like little crit buttons, little pegs, and like a shuffle peg that refills all the pegs. So like you don't have to do it all at once. You just refill the board and you keep going until either you're dead or the enemies are all dead. So I feel like it's kind of fair. Some of the early game bosses can be really, really rough if you haven't gotten any upgrades, but that's a roguelike. I mean, you're not going to win every run. Yeah. And it's in early access. I play it probably a run a day right now, just because I feel like I haven't exhausted the content, but I've kind of exhausted the content.
Mm.
But it's just in my daily rotation of like, oh, make the ADHD feel really good. Yeah, so that's Peglin. I like it. I recommend it. It's like $15.
Nice.
I've gotten way more than 15 hours out of it. So
Wow, that's good. That's good.
yeah.
Well, cool. Those were some great picks. And so I have something for you all,
What
something
you
to
got?
think about. I mean, I know that typically we'd be going to the Q&A, but we might do that next week, or I might just mix these in every so often. So a couple of things. Number one, I read a great article that broke down the iPod, because the iPod has finally been set to pasture. It's done. It's officially done this week. And so Cult of Mac really did a good job of doing this timeline of the iPod history. So your guys' thoughts on the iPod, or did you guys ever have an iPod?
Oh yeah.
I had a Zune.
Of course you did.
I could throw that thing at a wall and it wouldn't break, and I did multiple times.
Yeah, I
It was brown.
loved like I had the Nano, which had like the silver metal back. It was like the squarish one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like every day, like that's middle school. Without that would be like nothing for me. Like every single day, just like listening to like the Used and like Blink 182 and like all that stuff. I was actually surprised that they hadn't discontinued the iPod earlier. Like it seems like there hasn't been any
Well, they
update.
discontinued it in phases. Like they discontinued the Nano like a couple years back. They discontinued some of the other stuff, like the Shuffle, like 5 or 6 years back. And yeah, it was just one of those things where with the iPod Touch, it kind of like gave it new life, but it's just the simple fact is the phone kind of, and that's what Apple does. It kind of really kills its own inventions. Um, it's just about evolution. So I just thought that was interesting, and it was a good article that I read this morning on that, which is good. The other thing I wanted to bring up really quick before we end this, Netflix is in trouble.
Yeah.
And so they're talking about having a paid tier, or it's an ad tier, which lowers the price, because right now their 4K streaming is at $20 a month.
Yep.
And they're trying to compete with Disney, and Disney has increased their subscribers exponentially. So your guys' thoughts? Should they do an ad based tier, or just do better
I
content?
mean, might as well. I mean, the content is like a big issue too, but I feel like I've been thinking about canceling even before all this. So I guess it is more of a content issue for me than like I don't really care about the ads as much. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think, James?
Yeah, I mean, I like Russian Doll and Bridgerton, but at the same time, I am paying $20 a month right now for Netflix, and that's kind of absurd. But
It is
I also
absurd.
share it with my parents and my upstairs roommate, like things that you're allowed to do with Netflix.
Right now.
Yeah,
Right, but they're cracking down on that too.
Yep.
yeah.
And that's the thing. I started considering Netflix to be the streaming version of direct to DVD, because they put out crap. There's some gems, but very few and far between.
Yeah.
I mean, for Netflix originals, I like Stranger Things, which was done after this season. I like The Witcher.
I thought they had another season.
Nope, this is it.
Oh,
This
this
is
is
it.
it.
They have a two-part.
Same.
It's broken into two parts.
Yeah, like
It's his last hurrah. But and then AMC shows are both done that I watch on Netflix are both done. Better Call Saul and Walking Dead after this season. So it's like, I mean, I don't know. We don't watch Netflix as much as the other stuff
We
because of the
watch
content.
we watch Netflix when a new season of something we previously watched drops. But other than that, we're pretty
Yeah.
much on Hulu. Because
Yeah, I
that's
feel
where
like
Bob's Burgers lives and what we do in the shadows lives.
yeah, I feel like every like 3 to 6 months, Netflix will drop like a banger or like something that like you really want to watch it, but then you just watch that right away anyway, and then you're just like back to
They
nothing.
got rid of the Power Rangers.
I mean, doesn't
They have the originals, but they had like all of them, and then they were like, no, 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 we're getting rid of those. And I'm like, it's Power Rangers.
So yeah, it's just Netflix is gonna have to really figure out how they want to do this. I mean, if they're gonna shell out money for crap, they might as well shell out the money for good content, like what HBO does and what Apple is doing. Apple's killing it right now, and a lot of stuff that they're doing, and Disney. They're just doing what they do best. So anyway, but that's our show for this week. Thank you for tuning in, and we hope to see you next week, the same time, same place, Facebook, YouTube, noon, live. But you can always catch the replay. We always post it out. You always can catch the replay on those platforms, but we also post it to our website on Mondays. So stay tuned for that. Introduce.com if you miss it here, but Media Club. Thursdays, noon. See you all then.
See you then. Bye, everybody.